fine at holiday time, holiday time. Happy holiday, oh happy holiday. While the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true. Happy holiday, happy holiday. May the calendar keep bringing happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas, happy holiday, happy holiday.
The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host, guests, and callers who are responsible for their content and do not reflect the opinions of In Touch Radio or its staff.
Listen, this is Clinton Paris. If you get the sound of my voice, I always proclaim that it is a good morning. You are live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio where everybody can be a star. And this is Straight Up the Middle. And do not be misled by that title called Straight Up the Middle, because I lean hard to the left. Now, I'm not talking a little bit to the left. I lean hard to the left, where I think true opportunity, progress, growth, and the future prosperity for America really lies. So you right-wingers, hold your horses for a minute. Don't clutch your pearls too tight, but just go along as we left-leaning liberals move America and the world forward towards a place where there is much more compassion, inclusion, and opportunity for all, and that's not just those selected elites. But I'm indeed happy that I could be with you all this morning listening here on In Touch News Radio. And if you're on the radio station, listen, if that's not enough for you, you can also watch live on the In Touch News Facebook page, also on the In Touch News YouTube page as well. And you will find, if you go to all of those mediums, In Touch News is a full information suite with talk shows, financial advice, religious shows, my political show, which is a national political show, local political shows, just a whirlwind of information. And there's also a print version of In Touch News that you can also peruse, look at, that really highlights activities in the Tampa Bay area where I hail from. But look, I missed you all for the last couple of weeks. I want to thank Kenya and the good professor for coming in and co-hosting the show while I was out for a couple of weeks, dealing with a couple of things. One of the main things I want to share with you all is, excuse me, last week I was out because my son graduated from Florida State. He is now an official college graduate. And just very happy that the young man was able to complete his studies. He's now spent the last 5 or 6 days detoxing or debriefing or decompressing in Puerto Rico. He'll be back up in Tallahassee and then moving on with the next phase of his life. But I want to thank everybody for the well wishes, for the support, and for those who came out and blew it out at the parish house. We partied our butts off. I wasn't watching the clock, but I think the last person left around 3 a.m. I want to thank DJ such and such, who came out, threw the tunes on and jammed it up. Also, the Cake Cafe provided some desserts that I'm still recovering from. I gained about 10 pounds eating the marvelous cake cups that she made and the other fare that was presented. But just want to thank everybody for embracing the young man and supporting him. Indeed, we have the benefit of having a great village in our life that's there to really provide the additional support that our young people need, and also the manifestation of what I think is a cornerstone of prosperity in America, and that is education. And education is more than A's and B's and C's. It's mental development and growth. It grows your mind such that you can absorb, process, and then utilize the information that is at hand, that you can apply the sound judgment that's needed to prosper in certain situations. and the formal education of writing and math and science and some of those things are just a touch off to that. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for supporting my son Temperance. He is now, like I said, a college graduate. Also, listen, I think we can proclaim this with some sound seriousness that the holiday season is official. And here's why it is official. Because you all may notice, if you're watching the In Touch News Facebook page, I have on my bright red Kappa jacket. Now, all of you all know that I pledged fall 1985 #1 Crimson Climax Turbo. And here's how you know it's holiday season, because people start sending out memes saying J5 is coming. The excitement starts to build. And what is J5? J5 is the Founders Day for Kappa Alpha Psi. It's the day that the fraternity was founded, January 5th, 1911, at Indiana University by 10 astute young men. But the holiday season is on, and last night here in the Tampa Bay area, and I know around the country, there are various kickoff events for the holiday season. The company Christmas parties are up and rolling themselves out. We held something in Tampa called Noop Navidad last night. Outstanding event. It was a blowout. About 500 people came out, and we partied our butts off and really had a great time. So I want to give a shout out to the Brothers of Tampa alumni, as we have officially, for the country, kicked off the holiday season. So everybody, please, you can now go shop and buy your Christmas gear, because it is truly into the middle of the Christmas season. I want to also start the show off with a small acknowledgement of something that I think we need to really take serious. DJ Bezel's behind the board, and hopefully he can appreciate this, and that is mental health. This week we had the untimely passing of the dancer Twitch. Yeah. And a day before it appears that he took his life, he posted a video of his family. They looked so happy and excited. You would think that this young man had, and I'm saying young because I think he was about 41 years old, somewhere there. 40 years old. That he had everything to look forward to in life. And what I'm saying is that, particularly with African American men, sometimes our depression, our despair, our fear of the unknown, the future, and whether or not we can measure up to what society demands that we provide to it, is right below the surface, and with a level of uncertainty that can be debilitating. And in some unfortunate situations, that desperation results in tragic consequences. So I'm giving a shout out to anyone out there right now that think about your mental health like your physical health, that you have a mechanism in place for checking and making sure you're mentally where you need to be, that you have somebody in your life or people in your life that you can honestly share some of your concerns about what you're experiencing with, such that we have a chance to really address those issues. And to those of us who call ourselves friends, family members, brothers, sisters, whatever we may be, let's look out for each other a little bit better. Let's take a concerted effort to call, to check on people, to invite people, to connect with people that we know we may be one of their last sources of an outlet. That even go to, like, one of the things I like to do sometime, I like to go through my contacts, DJ Bezel, and call random people that I have not been in touch with for a long time, or if I see something on Facebook or social media, that I pick up the phone. I don't send a text, I pick up the phone and I call and I leave a warm voice saying, this is whoever I'm calling and I'm just checking in on you. I saw such and such, want to let you know that you're loved, that you know, people are just there for you. But let's do a better job of looking out for each other in this time, a particular holiday season. Sometimes people can get down on themselves, and sometimes they just kind of can panic, I think, as to what comes next for them. So I just want to say that, particularly for our African American men, our brothers, please, let's look out for each other, be a little bit more what I call there. And sometimes being there may not be saying anything. It's just being present, connected, particularly as we transition out of this COVID reclusiveness and back into an active space. We need each other more than ever. And let's just make a point of checking on each other. And because I was really, and I'm not a Twitch fan. I didn't know the guy, but I knew the name. You know, I knew the name because my wife and my daughter would squeal when he was on some dance show.
He was So You Think You Can Dance.
Ah, okay. They would just squeal.
But he was also Ellen DeGeneres' DJ.
Okay, got it.
And then,
right,
you know,
right.
He also, produced the show. He also hosted the show. And he just recently did. They just dropped the hip hop Nutcracker.
Really?
On Disney Plus. And it
Wow.
was really good. It was like a dance thing.
Okay.
With Run from Run DMC.
Okay.
Reverend Run.
Yes, yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Cool,
it's pretty
yeah.
Cool. It's pretty cool, and they just dropped it. Him and his wife, family's on there, and they're dancing and stuff like that. And so it's crazy.
Well, life can be scary because it's no longer as predictable as it was several generations ago. A couple of generations back, check it out. You grew up, you fell in love with the girl down the street. Y'all got married. You had a couple kids. You went to work at the local factory. You did your 40, cashed it in, and got your Social Security check. Well, that's not the case now. Life requires so much more. It requires you to figure out so many more things. One, that girl down the street, you got to expand your horizon because, they come and go so quick. You can't, build that relationship like you did over, from 7th grade on up.
Mm-hmm.
So now the girl down the street is some chick across town. So it take a little more time to figure that out. And then career-wise, there's so many opportunities for people to grow and become who they are. Most people move several times. They have several jobs. So you can't lock it in. So your security is more less based on the system and more based on your management of what opportunities may come and go, and you don't control those. The economy goes up, it goes down, prices change. And so it's a lot to figure out. So it was kind of shocking because he looked very happy, and
he just dropped a dance video right before, the day before.
Wow, yeah. We just never know. So anyway, hopefully more of that'll come out. But I just want to encourage, Bezel, us to be more present for each other, and sometimes physical distance may be better. You may be able to talk to someone who's not necessarily somebody you got to face at work every day.
That's right.
That you can really open up to and share some of your fears and uncertainties. And let me say this to the people that are listening. When someone does reach out, you don't have to have the answer. Do not be afraid to say, look, I don't have the answer for that, but I'm here with you, and together we can work on this. It's kind of like most things don't have a beginning and an end. Most things are a journey. They're a process that keeps going, and you got to refigure it out the next day. And then the next day, you got to refigure that out the next day. It's kind of like the old cars with carburetors. Every day you had to figure out how to start that car. Some days it was pump the gas pedal. Other days you spray a little starter fluid in there. Sometimes you get in a panic, you push that old stick shift down a hill and pop the clutch. But every day you have to figure, these electronic cars, you just push the button. Yeah. If it doesn't start, you cut out of gas. There's no figure it out. There's nothing you can do but call the ticket to the mechanic. But it's kind of like life is that way. Every day we have to be encouraged and know we can figure it out. Even if when the car won't start, check it out, Bezel. We just knock on our neighbor's door and get a ride with them. Mm-hmm. There's so many more opportunities. So I just want to really, really take a moment and say we have to embrace mental health the same way that we look at our physical health. And I just want to get this off my. It was really been weighty on me in the last couple of days because of Bezel. The young man looked so happy, like they had such a bright future. And I've never been in that dark place where I thought about, okay, this is the end for me. But it would appear to me that when you see the future, and you see the future is bright with a lot of goodness and excitement and things to look forward to, it's hard to look at today as being the end point. And for a young man like that, for all of him, where all of us saw so much potential and excitement, right. it is shocking. Okay. All right, so listen, guys, we're gonna come back. We're gonna get into the groove. talk about some political issues. Hey, Elon Musk has stuck his finger in the political hat. Now he's messing up stuff. I don't know what Kanye's candidacy is doing, but I think he's out performing Donald Trump. And then we got the Republicans chasing Hunter Biden everywhere they can find him. So we're going to just talk about a lot of stuff, y'all. You know, my therapy section is about to start. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio. Everybody could be a star. We'll be right back after this quick message.
Touch Radio, the most loved station across the nation. In Touch Radio. Tell a friend. In Touch Radio.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, push your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. It's a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
When it comes to reality radio, everyone is a star.
I know that's right.
On your smooth soul and R&B station. On the World Wide Web.
Access granted.
In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star again. My name is Clemson Paris. I have the wonderful pleasure of hosting Straight Up the Middle. And like I said, I keep it straight down the left side of the middle of the road. I am unapologetically a left-leaning liberal because I believe that's where progress is. If you just look at the concepts of conservatism versus liberalism. Conservatism implies we stay the same. We do the same thing and we tolerate the same results. That's the base of conservatism. Conservative means do the same thing and get the same results, and the same people will benefit and the same people will suffer. Compassionate liberalism is a place where we have additional open-minded thoughts. For example, the whole idea of America itself is an extremely liberal idea in the time that it was created. It went against the norm of every other society where it was based off a monarch system where you had a king or an emperor or a nobility that controlled all the assets and everybody else was a subject. Democracy implied that everyone had a chance to equally benefit from the opportunities that the society created, and that the government would be just a backdrop to how those opportunities were created. Fast forward to today, we're continuing to expand that concept. But let me just hold that thought for a minute. Look like I got a caller calling in to the show this morning. As it's always great to have callers call in. Good morning, caller. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Hey, this is Bill Johnson calling from Tampa.
Good morning, brother Darryl. Listen, you say your real name. It's Daryl X, man. Come on, man. You can't just slide that Daryl Johnson in. People get confused. They think you DJ CEO or somebody, man. Good morning. How you doing, brother Johnson?
I'm doing well today, just out and busy, but it's a great day. It'll be a great day in the Tampa area for us today, and I'm excited, and the brothers are excited, for our community service that we're going to be doing today.
Wow. Well, tell me, so exactly what are you Kappas up to? Because I saw you last night, and you was getting your boogie on. So in the daylight hours, what are the Kappas up to today?
Well, Kappa Alpha Psi, greatest fraternity known to man and woman created by
Speak
God.
the truth. Speak the truth, brother. Speak the truth.
And today we're gonna, we're restarting a lot of our community outreach that kind of was sidelined during the pandemic. So we're excited to be out today, where we'll be giving out turkeys and food baskets to two areas in the city that might need a little help. And this is just a start of some of the other outreach that we want to do in 2023 that may be around holidays, but sometimes just the ability to reach out and give back to those who may need a little help.
Wow, good stuff. So if I'm a person in this community that may need a little assistance during the holiday season, how can I participate in these two events?
Well, you could always give to Tampa Alumni Guidewright Foundation, and those funds will be used to give back. And then we also work hard to try to create relationships with other organizations that are like-minded to help and assist us, and we can help and assist them in giving back to the community. So today we'll be partnering with Metropolitan Ministries, and we were able to also get a grant and be able to partner with Walmart stores. So Walmart will be out with us.
Shout out to Walmart for the turkeys and to Metro. Yeah. Where are the locations at? And this is only in the Tampa Bay area, but where are the two locations?
Well, this year we selected Silver Oaks Apartments over on Kenneth Court in Tampa, and that will be from 12 noon to 2 p.m. We'll be out there handing out turkeys and non-perishable food items for the holidays. And then from 1 to 3, we'll be over at Victory AME Church in Progress Village, handing out turkeys to families there. So, we'll be giving out, approximately 100 turkeys and perishable food items a day to local families in the Tampa community that, may need a little assistance or boost for the holidays.
Outstanding, Brother Johnson. Well, thank you very much for your leadership and work on this initiative. The holiday season is a tough time for a lot of people, and other people knowing that somebody else cares about them and is willing to share and provide something that will brighten their experience right now in this day and age probably goes a long way, man. I want to really thank you all very much for doing that, and of course I know that the community appreciates the work that the Kappas and all the charitable organizations do. So good luck with the turkey giveaway, brother, and be safe.
All right, thank you very much. And lastly, if anyone would like to donate, you can go out to Tampa Alumni Guidewright Foundation. Go and donate right on our website, and also we'll be posting pictures of today's event and then any upcoming events in the future. Y'all have a blessed day, the community of Tampa, and happy holidays.
All right, thank you very much, brother. All right, y'all. You heard it. Now he introduced himself. Thank you very much, Brother Johnson. He introduced himself as Daryl Johnson, man. I thought, I said, man, I know that's not the voice.
I'm about to say, bring the donuts. Don't forget the donuts. Oh, that's the wrong Daryl.
Man, I can't help this. In my head, I got a Nino Brown picture of the Kappas on a truck and some turkeys and a crowd over at Kenneth Court. Hey, Daryl X, you're not from Tampa, man. You better be careful over at Kenneth Court, man. That's all I can say, man. You need to be careful. Be very, very careful over there. But you know what? I'm assuming that around the country we've got people, engaged in various activities that are benefiting. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the negativity so much of our community. We don't recognize how hard people are working to try to help people out, make a difference. And I was kind of leading into something with I was saying about liberalism versus conservatism conceptually. Conceptually. And the beauty of liberalism is that it opens it up to looking at the current circumstances of society and applying sound judgment that may not have worked a long time ago. That it may not have worked. I'll give you a good example. Liberalism took out corporal punishment in schools. Now, I don't know about you, DJ, but I got my ass beat a lot in school by Mr. Williams. I mean, I walk into school, and he and I would lock eyes. And he would be like, you're going to get paddled today at some point for something you're going to do. Well, liberalism say, hey, look, it's not good to have violence in schools, even if it's being committed by the administrators. And so conservatism kind of limits itself, I think. And I'm just proud to say that I'm open-minded about stuff. And I like being liberal. I like being flexible in the way that we look at stuff. And that brings me to one of my issues that I recently saw, and that was Kirsten Sinema jumping out of the Democratic Party and to being an independent. And the main gist of that is because she's been told some of the thing that she did last year, she's going to lose. Now, Kirsten Sinema is a borderline, she's a little weird. She's a little weird, and she kind of muscles her way into a position in the election out in Arizona. But it was very clear she's not going to win her seat back in a Democratic primary. Why? Because of some of the votes that she's taken. That's why she moved to be an independent. Thankfully, she waited until after the Warnock election was over so that nobody got excited. But it's very possible, though, she will not be reelected. And everybody's in a panic that, oh, my God, people are leaving the Democratic Party. No, they're not. They're not leaving the Democratic Party. She did that because she was going to lose that election. And let me tell you something about politicians, and I know some are listening in on the show. You are just like every other creature in the world. You will do what it takes to survive. And that's what she has done. So I don't think that there's really a fear that people are going to jump off because I'll tell you this. And hopefully Ed and Lorraine is listening. Ed, if you want to call in and chat about this, we can. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party are on the rise. Republicans did all they could to create discontent, distrust, uncertainty going into the midterm elections. There's value in that. They hope that we will tell people, look, we'll get you back to something you can believe and trust in the election system. And so vote for our Republic. But the problem was you had so many unfavorable candidates. Now that this election's over, no one's yelling and screaming fraud. No elections being drug out. There aren't a bunch of lawsuits going on. And so the negative pundits over in the conservative crab basket have nothing to grab onto. So guess what? There's a sense of normalcy setting in. Think about this, DJ Bezel. I don't know if you noticed this. I bought gas this week for under $3.
I did notice.
Under $3. What was the big panic you heard going into the Oh, gas prices are going crazy. Inflation down to 7%, and it continues to fall. People are encouraged and excited about getting out, the holiday season, shopping, and I think more and more Republicans sound out of touch. They sound confused. They sound like they have a lack of leadership. And really they do. Well, who's leading? They don't want to follow their real leader, Donald Trump. They're afraid to follow him. He is really the leader of the Republican Party. Has been. And so they're afraid to follow him. So guess what do you get? Well, let's try McCarthy. Well, you can't follow McCarthy. Why? He's under attack in Congress. He may not get the speakership. So he's in a fight with the ultra-conservative wing. And then you got what I call the real Republicans saying, hey, dude, can we get back to normalcy? Can we actually work on legislation? But he has to announce to kind of kowtow to that conservative conspiracy group that we're going to spend our time chasing Hunter Biden. And I'll tell you something. I don't wake up in the middle of the night thinking about Hunter Biden. It's not something I think most Americans really, really care about. And I'll go a step further, DJ Bezel. If it turns out that Donald Trump or not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden, got a little gravy out of the pot somewhere, what Republican doesn't? What Republican doesn't? I mean, if you to say, well, there are some family business deals somewhere in the pipeline that Hunter Biden got because he's with, are we saying that the Trump children weren't? Are we going to say that the patents that Trump's daughter got out of China wasn't because of relationships? The loans that his son-in-law got from the Saudis and Middle East, they weren't because of relationships. Some of the stuff they did over in Israel, it's all economic when you drill it down to the bottom. So I'm not in a panic. Hunter Biden got a couple $1 million because he was Joe Biden's son. My response is, and if that's all you got, really, I'm not turning the country around. Right. And so my thoughts are, watching what's happening with Republicans, they seem really, really confused. They seem really, really rudderless and a lack of direction. And the best thing Democrats can do is leave them to their own devices, let them wallow in it for a little while, get a lot of stench on them, smell themselves up, tear at each other, and while the Democrats continue to move the agenda forward. You saw this week they passed a bill protecting marriage rights, and I'll say it that way. They want to say that it's gay rights, it's marriage rights, because marriage in this country is based on a secular system, the way that we acknowledge it as a legal fiction and relationship. But I don't know that we need to be in a panic, though, because we have that dynamic. So with that being said, I'm just watching what Kirsten Sinema did. Some people were in a panic. Oh, people are running out of the Democratic Party. Nah. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go, right? And here's another thing is always something. It took me years to suck this in, DJ Belvin. Michael Jordan said it. He said Republicans buy sneakers too. I'm going to come back and tell you what I mean by that in a minute. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. We will be right back after this quick message. You like that tease, baby? Huh?
Nestled in the heart of West Tampa, the Maduro Marauder Cigar Lounge offers a wide variety of premium cigars from Esteli, Nicaragua. In addition, the lounge offers a relaxed environment for you to come back, lay, chill, and relax and smoke a great cigar. Visit us at our brick and mortar location, 1944 West Main Street, Tampa, as well as online, www.maduromarauders.com.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
It's a beautiful day.
This is Daryl Johnson
and Tampa Bay Tammy.
Wishing all our listeners all over the world
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you.
From In Touch News
and Radio.
We're back live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio, everybody can be a star. Look, if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, you can see the back of the famous fall 1985 line jacket from Zeta Chi at the University of South Florida. This jacket is 37 years old. Well, some of y'all I'm sure looks that way, but this is how Kappas roll. You know what I'm saying? This how Kappa, that Crimson Climax, baby. That's the good stuff there, man. Look, we're back live. Listen, I just teased y'all on the way out. On the way out, I gave y'all a teaser about Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan said when they were pressing him to take a stance on human rights and stand up against Republicans when he was making sneakers back in the day, and he said something simple. He said, Republicans buy sneakers too. This brings me to Elon Musk. And Elon Musk has, in a weird way, inserted himself into the political discourse. He's implying that Twitter has been used as an arm of the Democratic Party, liberalism, to suppress Republican matters of free speech and to promote certain conspiracies, such as the one at Donald Trump in the Russia collusion, that kind of thing. But it's interesting that he would buy a business, and that would be the way that he would go right out the box. And he has Twitter in a complete turmoil. Well, guess what? It's spilling over to his stock over at Tesla. Because now, before, hey, listen, let's get it real. Owning a Tesla was like owning a BMW back in the early 90s. It was a signal that you were hip. Even if you had the little bitty 318, that the little bitty engine, the thing couldn't barely get on the interstate. Right. But guess what? You said to everybody, I'm hip. And you got a lot of people riding around in America in a Tesla trying to project, I'm hip, I'm on the cutting edge, I've arrived, I know where the future is, and so on and so forth. And I believe in Elon Musk. And all of a sudden, Elon Musk is letting everybody know he's about as weird as the rest of us. And worse, he may have an agenda. And he may be using you to push his agenda. And I'm just surprised at the nature of that from a business standpoint. Most businesses try not to get into politics if they can avoid it. Worse than that, they try not to get sucked into some of the controversial positions, because nothing about what he is projecting from Twitter. And I'm going to separate the political dynamic from the business dynamic. We got a caller calling in on the phone. Good morning, caller. You're on In Touch News Radio, reality radio. Everybody could be a star. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, this Carl. I want to chime in on your topics here. Good attorney.
Hold on, Carl. Hold it. Oh, before you go anywhere, I was listening to the show last week. You called in, and yeah, I heard you call in last week. I wasn't here, and word around the studio was you got pumped a little bit by the guest co-host. That Kenya kind of she got a. Well, she said something about you being a trucker, and then you had to kind of say, "Well, you're not in a truck." I'm trying to figure out how do you be a trucker if you're not in your truck. I just thought that she. Oh, okay. All right. So you want to toot at me, but Kenya, she bottled you up. You couldn't handle that. But anyway, man, I appreciate you listening, Carl, as always. And anyway, what's on your mind this morning, Carl?
Okay, first thing, congratulations to your son graduating college in the 3 years or whatever, and I'm sure he did that with a very supportive hand of you and your wife Samantha.
He did a very supportive hand and foot. He got a little bit of both. He got a little foot too. Listen, Carl. And I know you got your own. Let me get my questions in first. If you don't mind. What is your right now? The Republican Party just looks a mess. It just looks a mess. In your mind, who's leading those people right now?
There's nobody leading them, and that's the problem. I mean, they don't have an agenda. They don't really have for the speaker. They said McCarthy and Donald Trump came in there, and he just messed them up pretty bad. They went way far left, or they went way far right. They were too far right out there, and they just start chasing, and they bases only was so big. And now once they reach the maximum capacity of that base, they're trying to, they got spots that need to fill in. So, but it's not there. So now they're trying to figure out what to do next. So trying to get all the cows and put them back in the barn or whatever, so we can be productive and produce a lot more milk and stuff and get back to our agenda or whatever. It's going to take some time.
I know long, and let me just take some of our listeners back a little bit. Carl was one of the few people early on in the previous election campaign. He came on this show and it said Biden was going to be his guy. And man, your prediction was accurate, and then he won South Carolina. What do you think is on the horizon for Joe Biden? You think he's going to announce that he's going to rerun, and do you think he has a chance of winning?
Yes, he do have a good chance of winning because it's very hard to unseat an incumbent president. I mean, and then he's doing a good job too. He's doing a good job with it. He got his feet flat, he's flat-feet on the ground or whatever, and he's moving the party forward. I mean, he's like with the they passed the bill with the marriage rights, and that's really big because they even with the abortion rights, they was coming with the interracial marriage, and then they was going to attack the gay rights and stuff. So by him passing that, and now he has some momentum.
What about Hunter Biden? You think Hunter Biden is going to be a factor as we move into the election season and the investigation of Hunter Biden?
No, that's just some cloud that's going to settle in for a minute or whatever. It's going to be a cloud over him, but I don't think it have too much effect or whatever. As long as he don't get distracted and try to defend something that's what 8 years old.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't. I always say don't chase that ghost and don't let it disrupt what you got going.
What if Hunter Biden is actually prosecuted for crimes? And that's one of the allegations is that there may be some fraud, I think some tax issues with Hunter Biden. What if Hunter Biden gets prosecuted? You think that's going to be, have a negative impact on Joe Biden?
Well, the same way with all these guys getting prosecuted around Trump. Was that a negative? Was that negative for him?
I think so. I mean, if you got a crew and it's 5 of y'all in the crew and 4 of y'all start going to jail, everybody starts staring at the one guy that's left. Like, and what did you do? So I think it's a little concerning there. Let me ask you this also, Carl. I mean, I apologize. We're going to get to your questions, okay? We're going to get to your questions, Carl. Don't panic on me there. Where is Kamala Harris again? She's got to be the most invisible vice president ever. I've never seen a vice president this invisible. Where is she? Have you seen her?
No, I haven't seen her. But the vice president is not one to be seen. They're always to be heard when they're needed. Okay. She's not one that overshadows the president.
Do you think that's because they don't want it to look like she could be, she's a second string quarterback? They don't want to let her outshine him, or that she just doesn't have any luster?
Well, they don't want her to get any momentum to overshadow him if he decides to run. I think if he wasn't running, then I think they'll make her more visible.
I think the guy on the bench right now that's looking to step in is Newsom out in California. He's the only one I think that's sitting on the sidelines waiting for a chance. But I think her lack of profile is absolutely strategic. Maybe it's designed to ensure that she doesn't get more tarnished she is. Okay, Carl, those are all my questions for you. You're out there, moving commerce on the roads. Tell me, what was your question? What did you have to comment about this morning?
Well, my comment is also you did mention about the economy, about the gas prices going down. Yes, as I travel, I've seen gas prices go down to $2.49.
$2.36 in New Orleans. $2.36 in Louisiana yesterday.
So that means the economy is moving. With Elon Musk, I think he's gonna shake it up with Forger, with Tesla, and your stocks and your and Wall Street. Now that's gonna be trying to bring that back up or whatever, but we are in a downswing with some of the stocks in parts of the county.
Right, but I think that's going to bounce back. Absolutely, though. Well, Carl, thank you for listening in. Thank you for answering my question this morning. I think America is better because they heard from you and that you're out on that road moving some commerce in a safe, responsible manner. Appreciate you, my brother. Be safe out there and keep listening to the show. All right. So he blow up at me. He get all swole. He gets all swole up at me. Kenya, he can't even do this. He can't do nothing but, try to hope that she recognize he is a trucker. That was Carl calling in, one of our most loyal and longest listening callers. I want to appreciate him very much for calling in. Look, I think I got to take my next break right now. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you're going to have a surprise for everybody. We're going to bring in DJ CEO. We're going to talk about something that everybody's waiting for, and that is the upcoming Power Couples Ball. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio where everybody can be a star. We will be right back after this commercial break.
Beautiful day.
This is Daryl Johnson
and Tampa Bay Tammy.
Wishing all our listeners all over the world
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to
you. From In Touch News
and Radio.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
When it comes to reality radio, everyone is a star.
I know that's right.
On your smooth soul and R&B station.
On the World Wide Web.
Access granted.
In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio where everybody could be a star. And listen, I brought in DJ CEO, but we've been sitting here chatting it up and just reflecting on last night's events, how busy we are with the things today. And I want to give a shout out to Bezel, man. Look, you really pick things up in the studio, how you work all the cameras, the commercials, the various keyboards. And I mean, I really enjoy watching your expertise and your skill set, man. You do a good job for us.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. And
can I say something?
Go ahead.
See, listen. So I'm listening to the station this morning, and somebody calls in and says that they're Daryl Johnson.
Yes.
So I called the sheriff's department and I told them, listen.
You reported it.
Yeah, I reported it. We got somebody impersonating me.
We had that incident last night.
Oh, really?
At the event, somebody was asking for Daryl and they kept saying, well, which one?
It was good.
No, we've got two Kappas in our chapter by the name of Daryl. Has had the moniker for the longest, but Daryl X has joined us today. Great brother. He's doing a lot of work, a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. He has not been here that long.
No.
And he just stepped right into his role.
He's only been a brother about 3 or 4 years.
Exactly.
So very good. But I wanted to bring you in because, I mean, you've always been a visionary. I mean, people talk about In Touch News is one of the visions.
Okay, brother.
But I remember when Daryl rolled in Tampa and said, "What are y'all doing? Where's your Juneteenth event?"
That's right.
I hadn't forgotten. Told her, get your flags.
Okay.
Everybody need to buy flags. Get your flags. Daryl was going around town selling flags.
Red, black, and green flags.
Yes, man. He ran the Juneteenth event, man, that to kind of enlighten people about things. Years ago, you also created the Power Couples Ball.
Yeah.
And
that would be my wife.
Power Couples Balls coming up. It's moved. It used to be earlier in the fall.
Yes, it used to be early fall. Now it's December the 31st.
December the 31st. And give me the concept behind the Power Couples Ball.
So the ball was created to focus on marriage and family, and the other thing is it's date night at its best.
Yes.
We started it at the death of my son back in 2008, and it helped to fill a void for my wife, but also it helps us to kind of heal some wounds. But in the creation of the Power Couples Ball, we saw the need for families to stay together, and my wife created it in hopes that we could help heal some wounds with some families and keep them together.
You know, being a couple in a marriage, you have these two people, and if it's how most marriages are, you've got two dynamic people. Really, two by themselves, they're dynamic,
right?
And now they're combined.
Wow!
It is an undertaking to keep that connection. It's kind of like two wheels on a car. If you don't have the right differential gear set up in that. In the rear end, it's hard to keep those wheels pulling together, which gives them way more force than you could if they were not. And so I think you're celebrating the ability to keep those gears connected, churning and pulling forward, knowing you're going to hit some bumps in the road.
And you know, that's a great analogy because along the way, now we've been doing the Power Couples Ball for 13 years.
Wow, that's
10
quick,
years
man.
We did it at the Grand Hyatt. And then, of course, this past 3 years, including this year, we haven't had the opportunity to do it because of the pandemic.
Yes.
So we're celebrating 3 power couples for 20, 21, and 22. And when you talk about that gear differential, I can tell you right now that when you have an accident or a problem goes wrong with that gear shift, things break down.
Yes.
And we've seen some couples along the way that had the power, they broke down.
Right.
And have not been able to repair.
Right.
Yes. So you know, being together and staying together takes a lot of work. It takes maintenance. You know, when you take your car to the shop, if you just take your car to the shop every 5,000 miles, get your oil changed and your tires rotated, you can stay on the road.
Yes.
And the same thing applies to marriage.
Go ahead on.
You have to maintain your
service.
Date your wife. You have to date your husband. You have to really maintain that relationship, and it takes work. But if you maintain it, you'll be able to go beyond the 100, 200, and 300.
Go ahead. All right. Now look at and that's when the value when you get after the warranty, you're still rolling.
You still rolling.
Yeah, there you go. Now tell me about where it's located.
So the ball this year, the ball is located at the Floridan Palace Hotel, which is downtown Tampa. This is the first time we've been able to get New Year's Eve, because on New Year's Eve here in Tampa, the Outback Bowl consumes all the hotel rooms, so you cannot get a hotel.
Right.
But we were fortunate enough to get the Floridan Palace Hotel. The event starts at 7 o'clock. We'll get a cocktail hour before that. It's from 7 to 11. And then we're just going to celebrate New Year's Eve. And this is the start of something new, Clint. From now on, we will always have the ball on New Year's Eve. You won't have to guess about the date. It's New Year's Eve from now on.
Right now, where do I tickets, tables? Where do I get that?
You can go to intouchnews.com and get click on the ad that you see. It'll take you straight to a pay portal. and/or you can call me at 813-404-5287. I can get you some tickets. You can also go to our website, which is thelastmilescholarship.org.
Now you open up something else.
Oh, okay.
And talk about the last mile.
That's the Braxton Darrell Johnson Foundation. So we created that foundation, right after his death, and from that, we use that vehicle to help boys and young men and some young ladies finish college if they're in their last mile, meaning if they're in their last year and or last semester of college.
Wow.
So we've had some great success.
It's funny you mention that because it takes some thinking to realize that group needs help.
Needs help.
But everybody knows the guy from college who made it 3 years and didn't finish.
And they want to finish.
They wanted to finish. They ran out of financial aid. The car broke down. They couldn't get transportation back to college.
Absolutely.
We could just run the list out of all those. So that's a beautiful vision. And this is what I was talking about earlier about having a liberal mindset about what we look at society.
Yes.
That group needs help just like every other group. And it's been very profound that you mention it in that way. Now, what are some of the criteria that you all look for in these power couples?
Well, one is, they have to be married for at least 10 years. Is it 10 or 15? Okay. That's really my wife's department. But we look for longevity.
Yes.
We look for what they both are doing in the community.
Community impact.
It can't be lopsided.
Yes.
You can't have one guy doing everything and then the other person is not doing.
Right.
So they've got to do things in the community, and they have to really genuinely have a love and respect for each other.
Wow.
And so we look at those things. And my wife and I both make the decision. We don't give it over to a committee or anything like that. We both make the committee, and we give it some thought. We take the whole year, most of the year, to look at people that have been their names have been what's the word I'm looking for?
Submitted,
thank you.
Yes.
Submitted, and so we take those names, and we have some of our own names, and we make the comparisons, and we do a checklist, really, and say, hey, A, B, C, D, and E, and boom.
Wow. So one of the things I like to do is I like to sample stuff.
Okay.
So I went to the website.
Okay.
And I clicked on I clicked on it.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be able, when I talk about it, to say, so listen, everybody. So when you go on the In Touch News website page, there's a scrolling of various things go across.
Right.
You got to catch it you got to click it when it comes across. You got to click it.
Yes.
Because it's going to keep moving through
it will.
To the next one.
Will.
So just know that you'll click on that, get the information. You heard DJ CEO give out his number one more time, DJ CEO.
813-404-5287.
Now look, I know y'all watching on video. You heard him talk about his wife because he's looking extremely dapper.
Come on,
always, brothers, always Chris as a fall breeze.
Now I gotta admit, I was pretty sharp last night.
Hey man, look, the brothers were sharp, man. They watched my scroll, but man. I'm a hard, red-blooded man. Some good-looking brothers, man. I appreciate the support around the country, and like I said, I know wherever you are, you've heard by now. J5. It's coming. So we're gonna really celebrate. DJ CEO, want to congratulate you just on being you and some of the things you've done in our community. A visionary, and I know that around the country we have other people that are engaged in your community, whatever you may be doing. Listen. I'm sure it's dynamic. I'm sure it's the kind of thing that you may not feel the reward or the spillover. But DJ CEO, I've been coming to that Power Couples Ball for a number of years.
Yes, you have.
And I oftentimes see the couples I see there in the community building incredible things.
Absolutely.
I think that I'll say one of the things like the Skills Center.
Yes.
Couple that you've seen around for eons, and I could go down the list of couples we've seen grow up, mature, impacting our community in such a profound way, and other things. So I just want to congratulate you on just being you and being a visionary and contributing so much to our community, to all the people around the country, wherever you may be. Want to also encourage you, listen, don't get this. There are a lot of naysayers about things, DJ CEO.
Sure.
There are always reasons to say no and nah. I've always tried to say to people, think of ways you can, ways that you can make something more than what it was.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a visionary,
Oh,
but I'm a heck of a
yes, you
supporter.
are, without a doubt.
I believe in you. Play your role.
Well, listen, man. Before we get off the air, I just want to say, you had an excellent monologue this morning, man, talking about mental health.
Well, thank you.
It was really, really good, and,
Yes.
and people need to hear it again. So I actually want to cut a clip of that and replay it throughout the month of December and January, because people just need to hear that little small clip. It was great.
Well, thank
good
you.
information.
Well, absolutely. It was on my heart. It really was. And I thank you very much for that. For all the folks out there, I did also announce it is now official holiday season because the campus have had their party and kicked off. J5 is coming.
Yes.
I just want to encourage everybody, get out in your community, wherever you are in this country, whatever you're doing. Listen, you can be an impact. It could be something as simple as donating $10 for that car wash at the corner, or just telling somebody, listen, have a bright day, or maybe getting an extra hamburger and giving it to the guy at the corner. Whatever it is you choose to do, impact your community. And I look forward to seeing you all back here next week. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where even you can be a star. See you next week, y'all.
Peace.